Today I'm very happy to see you again. We are going to do some back exams, samples for you to improve your grammar. I am going to start with back 2016. Unfortunately, we cannot start with the comprehension because text is too long and we don't have the adequate material to show it. We are going to go directly to text exploration, or the second part, with different exercises. Each time we do an exercise, we are going to comment or to remind you some grammar rules. We are going to start with the first exercise, which is dealing with word building. Exercise number 2. This is, of course, back 2016 LPH. Divide the following words into roots and affixes. Now, what are affixes? And what is the root? Of course, in English, as well as in many other languages, the words are built from a basis, which is the root. And then, by adding affixes, which are prefixes, and suffixes, we are going to have new words, other words that have different other functions. From verb we can get a noun, from noun we can get adjectives and adverbs, etc. In this exercise we are going to try to divide the words into their roots and their affixes. Okay, we are going to start with the prefix, root, and suffix. Alright? The words are given here. We have the word download, the word interactive, and the word endless, and disconnection. Okay. Disconnection. Of course, you are going to have a certain background to do this. For example, we'll start with the first word, download. What is the root here in this word? Is it down or load? Of course, we go to the verb, load. So we put it here. Load something to a computer or your... And from the moment down comes before, we are going to put as a prefix. Is there something after the verb? No, so we don't have a suffix. We go to the second word, interactive. Where is the root? What do you think is the root? In active, for example, we have the verb to act. We put it as a root. Sorry. Put it as a root. act. And we have the prefix inter and the prefix e, like other words such as subjective, objective, etc. The third word, endless, or the verb to end. We put it as a root. Before the root there is nothing, so we don't have a prefix, but after we have less, which is a suffix of negation, or less here. A suffix of negation, and less. And the last one, this connection, as we have seen in class with D, and the use of prefixes D and this, which are prefixes of negation as well, and we have the suffix ion, ion, or shin. So we are going to write it here. This, the verb to connect, and the suffix ion, or ion. And this is one of the exercises taken from baccalaureate LPH, and you can consider that it is a very easy exercise. You can do it easily. Let's move now to the next one, the next exercise, exercise number 3, in which you are asked to rewrite sentences, or sometimes you call it also paraphrasing, to write sentence B so as it means the same as A. In this exercise you are asked to paraphrase using the connecting words, or using the starting sentences given already in the exercise, and then you can consider what you are going to do, whether you are going to change from active to passive, go from direct speech to indirect speech, or paraphrase using a different connector. The first sentence, I will write sentence B so as it means the same as sentence A. Means that you are going to write the sentence a different way without changing the meaning. The meaning keeps the same. In sentence 1, A, for example, we have parents have to, well, expressing obligation, have to control their children's use of the internet, because here we have a connector. This is a complex sentence, because introduces the cause, of course, or cause clause, as we have seen in a previous lesson. There are dangerous sites. Of course, it is not very difficult to understand the meaning of this sentence. You are asked to write the sentence starting with because of. Because of. So what is the difference now between the use of because and the use of because of? In class you have seen how to use because of, due to, and owing to. Of course, all of them, as well as because or as or since, are connectors used to introduce causality or cause clauses. But there is a certain nuances between the uses of different connectors. For example, if we use because of, it is not obligatory or it doesn't mean that we can use due to or owing to instead, whether they are or they have the same meaning. Because of, due to, and owing to. Okay? So, because of is a connector that modifies verbs, phrases, adjectives, and adverbs. It is as well considered or functions as an adverb. Due to, on contrary, and owing to, function as adjectives and thus modify only pronouns and nouns. So we don't or we cannot all the time use due to and owing to as well as use of because of. I am going to give you an example. For example, if I say low revenue was due to lack, for example, of sales. Lack of sales. So you are in a shop, for example, or shopkeeper says, my revenues are very low. What is the cause? We introduce the cause through due to lack of sales. Due to lack of sales can be replaced with owing to lack of sales or because of lack of sales. So to have an idea about low revenue was caused by lack of sales. Right? This is a way I am going to give you. It is a kind of trick. If caused by goes and the meaning is correct, the sentence is correct, we can say that the use of due to here instead of because of is correct. But if I give you another example, for example, say, I was late because of missing the train. I was late because of missing the train. Can it be substituted through due to of missing the due to missing the train? What do you think? Is this sentence correct for you? It seems not. Due to missing the train, it doesn't go because due to modifies a pronoun or a noun. Here, due to modifies a verb and it doesn't go. Because of modifies verb, but due to cannot. If I go to the trick I gave you, if I replace all this by caused by, say caused by, missing the train, it doesn't go as well. So the correct sentence is because of, but not with due to and with caused by. Alright, so this is just a reminder, okay, for the use of due to and owing to. Oh, don't forget that because of modifies verbs, phrases, adjectives, and it is also functioning as an adverb. Due to and owing to modify only nouns and pronouns. Alright, here, what can I do to have or to paraphrase and have or get a correct sentence instead of the use of because? Or because of, from the moment it modifies a verb, because the internet, the use of the internet is dangerous, so it modifies an adjective. Or if I start with because, the use, etc., it doesn't go because of doesn't modify a pronoun, or so it doesn't need a verb. It needs just a noun or an adjective. So here we have the adjective dangerous because of dangerous sites. Because of dangerous sites. Parents. Oh, don't forget, Kana, because you're starting with the cause close. Parents have to control their children's use of the internet, etc. Well, because of modifies adjective. Because of plus adjective, or sometimes a noun or a noun phrase. To be clearer, I'm going to give you another example. For example, when I say, for example, I was absent, I was sick. Oh, made close, I need a connector that introduces a cause clause. For example, here because I was absent, because I was sick. But if I tell you, give me the same sentence, but with because of. Because of. So from the moment because of that modifies the verb to be absent, it doesn't need another subject with verb. For example, I can't say because of I was sick. Because of I was sick, it doesn't go. It is the same thing as I tell you in Arabic. كنت غائبا لأن تعطيني السبب لأنني كنت مريضا. ونقول لك أعطيني نفس الجملة ولكن في بلاصة ما تستعمل لأن استعمل بسبب. كنت مريضا بسبب، هنا تحبس بسبب، ما نقدرش ندير بعد بسبب كنت مريضا، لازم كاين تعديلات. بسبب مرضي، بسبب المرض. So it is same thing in English. We don't need subject, verb and adjective as it is here because we have a couple of verbs. We just need because of a phrase, because of my sickness. I think it's clear right now, the use of because of instead of because. Because links two clauses with their subjects, verbs and complements or objects, and because of needs a phrase, noun phrase or adjective phrase. Okay? So let's move now to the third sentence, which is the authorities, number 2. Number 2a, the authorities should ban hazardous sites. The authorities should ban hazardous sites, and then in B they start with hazardous sites, which was in the previous sentence an object. So when we start with the object of the previous sentence, let's say active sentence, and I start with the same object that was an object becomes subjects in the next sentence. So I obviously know that they need me to transform this sentence from active to passive. And from active to passive, what should I do? How is the verb in the active sentence? In the passive sentence, it is always be plus past participle. To be always takes the tense of the active sentence. Means that in the active sentence, if the verb is in the present, I should put to be in the present, and then the same verb, to ban, becomes a past participle. If it is in the past simple, I put to be in the past simple plus past participle. If it is in the future, I should put to be in the future and then past participle. So it's not very difficult. Here the verb is used with an auxiliary model. Auxiliary models like will, should, must, have to, etc. plus infinitive. The verb after auxiliary models is always in the infinitive form, so it is not very difficult to transform to be with an auxiliary model and to keep the same form in the infinitive form. Hazardous sites should be the same tense with to be. Here it is. This is to be. Should be plus past participle of the verb to ban or to prohibit should be banned. So should be plus past participle. This is the form of the verb in the passive voice. Hazardous sites should be banned plus an agent or the subject of the active sentence becomes an agent preceded by the authorities. Whether it is not very important to mention the agent when we use the passive form. Is it okay? Now let's move now to the next sentence, which deals with another grammar point, which is transformation from direct speech to indirect speech. Number 3, A. Okay, so let's do a short reminder with the transformation from the direct speech to the indirect speech. So the direct speech is specific with its inverted commas and a reporting verb. What is important for you is always to go first to see which tense is the reporting verb. We said, as a reminder, when the reporting verb is in the present, we don't change the tense of the report speech or the quotation itself. If it is in the present, we keep it in the present. If it is in the past, we don't change the tense, but we change the other elements, such as pronouns, indicators, etc. If the reporting verb is in the past, the verbs of the report speech should change from present to past. Means that if I find the present simple, I change to the past simple. If it is the present perfect, I go to the past perfect. Present continuous to the past perfect, to the past continuous, etc. Means from present to past, when the reporting verb is in the past. Exceptionally, when the report speech is already in the past, whereas the reporting verb is in the past as well, when I find verbs in the past in the quotation, I keep the same tense or go to the perfect. Means that if the reporting verb is in the past, the verbs of the report speech are also in the past, I change them to the past perfect. This is a short reminder. So how can I deal with this sentence? You have seen that with your teachers in class in first year and second year and this year as final class. Or tell me now. So what do you have? He said. Then, the reporting verb is in the past. I change the tense of the quotation or the quote to the past. What are the verbs that are going to transform? We have the verb to offer, and that's all. We have only one word. So, are there any other elements I should change? For example, personal pronouns, possessive pronouns, indicators of time, etc. No, we don't have here. So it's not very difficult. We have only one element to change. He said a link, which is specific to affirmative statements. That, and I put it between brackets just to tell you that it is not very necessary to use a connector here. You can use it as well as not. Right? He said that the internet offers is in the present simple. I turn it to the past simple. Not very difficult. That he said that the internet offered limitless amount or quantity of information. And some of you are going to tell them why we have a limitless amount, means quantity of information, and we don't add s to information. We say information is an uncountable noun, so it doesn't take s, whether it is in the plural or in the singular. It is always written the same way. It doesn't take an s when it is used in the plural. So we keep it as it is. Information keeps the same whether it is singular or plural. That's it. So that's it for today. I think we have revised many grammar points. And at last I am going to tell you that through practice you are going to improve yourself for sure. Keep practicing, keep doing exercises at home. Thank you very much.